Hey yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Thanks for tuning in and welcome back. On this episode, we've got Nitedog back and he's in his Lorraine 40T, which is a Tier 8 French medium premium tank. Autoloader, as you can see, and he's going to go up here into the middle. North spawn on encounter mode, on steps, on steeps. Here we are on steeps. That is how you pronounce it, I'm pretty sure. Fix me if I'm wrong. I know it's not the way you pronounce it. That goes back a long time. Some of the older subscribers may remember that. It was actually a platoon mate of mine. He actually thought it was called Steeps. He was a great guy, but could not pronounce things. That's where I got Fjords as well. Steeps and Fjords. Nitedog gets up into the middle, and he's looking to be a bit of a support tank right here, which is what he noted in his note to me. He's not doing terribly good with the tank. In fact, he said it had been sitting around for quite a long time, decided just to play it. So he's going to do this kind of thing. Now, I would have gone over to the cap on this particular game and tried to help out over there. The gun really isn't in the game in the middle. You're really expecting guys to kind of drone up the middle and be dopey. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it didn't happen there, did it? So we're going to go down towards the cap. Now this is an interesting discussion here because what we have is a Centurion, a T-49, the Object 430 version 2, and eventually the Indian, but we've really overmatched these guys with our mediums over here, and we're not really aggressively using the overmatch, and it's kind of a bit of a peek and poke. There's a big guy up there shooting. He can see the shots coming down, but he can't actually see the guy, and people are shooting back at him. So we're going to take some little shots at the Mod 1, and that actually finds its way in there, which was pretty good. You can see that there's quite a few of their enemy tanks up on that hill. In fact, there might be about 4. So now that all the numbers are in, it looks like they actually have a slight overmatch over here. So let's see how this thing plays out. We do have quite a few snipers sitting back. The Leopard's a bit back. The 8.8 is hanging out here with Nitedog. Nitedog is sneaking some shots in on this poor Mod 1, and now he's into a reload. So the Centurion's gone on to cap. Not really something I recommend because they can kind of peek around and shoot, and he doesn't have a whole lot of guys keeping them honest. And they're going to start getting around on him, and they start working over the Centurion. But they take down, looks like they mill one on the other side. The Mod 1 dies on this side, and so they have knocked down the numbers at least by 1. Nitedog. Nitedog's another subscriber. Nitedog is reloading, but I think Nitedog, I would have moved up with that reload instead of hang out right there. And it's a timing thing on reloads. One thing you want to try to do, try to sneak a shot in on this guy, is start moving towards your next shots while you're reloading. So we'll get a couple in there. One bounces, one misses, one does some damage, I believe. And we're going to force a reload, which I think is the right answer. But you're not up there influencing and keeping those guys honest. And they've actually pushed in, taken out your Centurion 1. And because the Leopard and the Rev are sort of hanging out, and we went in there piecemeal, they've gained a bit of an advantage on this side. On the other side, though, the good news is those tanks are starting to win and are pushing back across. So you're about to get them in a bit of a crossfire. What you need to avoid on your side, though, is getting cleaned up by the remaining guys on the cap. And if they were smart at all, they would have pushed in and taken you guys out. But in the greatest, what's the word I'm looking for? Tradition. In the greatest tradition of passives, they are just sitting around and hanging out on the cap. Their artillery is down. That is a big kill. And so I think Nitedog's doing the right thing here. Might have been better to be up and aggressive and helping them earlier on, but at least you have your whole hit points, all of your hit points right now. And you have the chance to get over onto the cap and reset it if that is something that's required. So right now, just being careful, kind of taking a look if we can get some shots in here. Sneaks one into the P-44 Pantera. Right here, I'd be zooming out. You're going to kind of stay zoomed in quite a bit right here on this Pantera, but I would zoom out enough to see what is the Conqueror doing? Is he going to poke around and see me? Where are the other tanks? Am I going to have somebody come around down below me? So if you kind of look at that, you really can't see if that Centurion 7-1's pushing around. So I'd be very careful about zooming in, especially up on this ridge like here where you're not really in any kind of bush or cover. There's some trees around you, but they're not giving much because they're not knocked over. I agree with, at least for the moment, keeping the 3 shots and not forcing a reload. Now 2 on is problematic, but notice that it's still 1:30, so it's not happening very fast. It is encounter mode, so it does take a little while longer for them to cap out. The artillery helps because that now brings that guy down to a 1 shot. So okay, there's still 1 on there, 316. This is no hurry. There's no reason to get in any kind of hurry right here. There you go. And I would have forced that maybe a little bit earlier, but you were looking for more shots in case the Centurion pushed. So not too bad right there. And we're really just waiting for a reload and coming on in here and see if we can't take some near deads out. Pantera is probably 2 shots, maybe 1. More than likely 2 shots. It had to be a very high roll, I think. I think it looked like it was at 293 or so. And that's something you have to consider with your auto loaders. How many shots do I have, and how likely am I to kill guys off? So be careful about relying on a high roll, and if it looks like it needs 2, then make sure you're counting it as 2. I might have stopped. This was interesting. You kind of come blazing in here and you take a couple shots. We get the T-5041. He can't turn around, and you end up killing him. And then I get a notification on my computer, and the Leopard 1 comes in and saves you from the 7-1 who was about to ram kill you right there. So pretty good teamwork. Leopard 1 saw you moving in, and he jumped in as well. And now we're just going to clean up the rest of these guys. I thought the timing on that move into the cap was pretty good. I don't know if I would have come around like that fully. I think I might have played the peekaboo game instead of just kind of letting them hit us. But it ended up working out. You get the guy dead, you get the other guy dead. A little help from your friends, and now we're just trying to clean these guys up. You see the big guy there, you miss him, that's too bad. I wasn't sure where he was pointing either. It looked like you were trying to determine where his turret was pointed, but he's actually shot. Absolutely hammer that guy. He dies here pretty quickly. And all we've got left is the tier 9. What is that thing? T10? There you go, T10. He's poking around that little edge right there, so I'd be very careful. And right here, once he started backing up, even though I'm reloading, this is what I was talking about earlier. I'd start approaching and getting a better angle or getting closer while I'm reloading. There's no reason to hang out here. He's backed up. I'd have gone over here into this little divot. That's a little bit closer, and it changes the angle a little bit. Last time he saw you was here. Go over here and be in a different place. You do have to be careful about driving right at him, because if he comes around that corner, which for a moment I thought he was going to do that right here, but he's looking at the Leopard. That's the good news. Now cut right. There you go. That's using that little ridge right there. This little ridge right here as cover. Leopard rages in there, and he's probably going to take this guy out, puts a hit on him. Leopard can take, what, 2 hits at least. He's behind the cover right there, and down he goes, and he ends up dying. So we've got 2,689 damage there with 2 kills. Bottom tier effectiveness is always an issue in this game with 357. You're going to find yourself at the bottom a lot. The question is how do you do it? And Nitedog, while I will say he does it a little more carefully than I do, he is effective in that role as well. And the good news is, even as he is careful early, there is a point at which he will push forward and start helping. And that is really what we all need to kind of figure out, is when is that time that I can be that effective tier 8 bottom tier guy? What is that point in the game where I can use my hit points, use my mobility, use my position, whatever combination of those things that I have to affect the outcome of the game? And while it was swinging their way, that move in there to clean out the cap is really what cinched the deal for this team. And then they were able to envelop the other dudes, that T10 and the other guy over there. All right, guys, that's all I got. Nitedog, thanks for sending that in. Nice replay. As always, we will see ya.